Somebody's so soda_dream. Man, you are like, I feel like I want to take mod action against this person because they just said Frozen's original soundtrack compared to Beauty and the Beast or even The Little Mermaid was just annoying or lacking.
I totally agree. The worst part about that movie was the songs by far.
So
what?
wrong.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
it's
now
super
here's
true.
a question,
There were
though.
like a couple good songs, but there were a couple really bad songs.
What? Like
Yeah.
Which one?
I hated the song that the Ice Lady sings when she first is alone.
That's crazy.
The Let It Go song? Oh, you mean the one that's been #1 on the Billboard charts for 6 weeks?
Yeah, you know what? I usually don't like #1 on Billboard charts.
Okay, but like to be fair, I guess
Keith,
what
you're
I
not
guess
allowed to have an
my
opinion. Okay?
discrepancy with what this person just suggested, which is that they were lacking compared to Beauty and the Beast or The Little Mermaid, is that those songs came out and were on top in like the 90s, and at the time that was appropriate for the genre. But now you've got this song "Let It Go" that's much more applicable to the current viewing children and or their parents who are watching these movies. And then you've got songs like the ones that Anna sings where she's talking about how she's elated or gassy and that she wants to stuff chocolate in her face. Like they're more realistic songs to what people are more willing to admit they're feeling in those situations. So I can see why people think they're more popular now.
sillier.
Yeah, they're absolutely sillier. They're making fun of themselves.
I think playing this game on medium was a mistake.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Why would
it's
you
a
do
tough
that?
game.
I'm gonna
man.
go to the bathroom real quick. I think we might be done. We'll switch to Onimusha.
Okay, we're gonna switch to Onimusha. Do you
I
want
don't
to
even
shut
know what
the system off so that we can hear Bob better?
Hear me.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Keith. How are you doing?
Oh, hey,
good.
so since there's still active conversation going in Frozen, this little tidbit is going to make all of you want to go watch it again if you're Disney fans.
I
If
haven't
you
watched it.
look in the scene, if you watch the scene where the castle gates open and the crowd is admitted into the castle for the first time, you can see Rapunzel and Flynn Rider in the lower left-hand corner. You're welcome.
Kajek says the troll song was the worst, to be fair.
Yeah,
I remember
absolutely.
that song being like the best song from the whole movie.
What?
Yeah, that song's great.
No!
That was the best song.
No.
Yeah, that one and the first song, the Snowman song. Those are the
I do
two
like
best
the-
songs.
Wait, do you want to build a snowman?
Yeah, yeah.
That one, that one's good. I really
Yeah.
like Love is an Open Door. I think it's hilarious.
Love is an open door. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that one was all right.
I think it was good because I think that it was making fun of itself. Like she's like, can I tell you something crazy? And he's like, I love crazy. And then
Oh, wait,
she
I
talks
think
about
we're
how
thinking
she's
of-
falling in love with him in 30 seconds.
I think we're thinking of different songs. I do like the idea of that song. I kind of don't like the song itself. I thought you were talking about the one before the party.
Oh no, that one's for the first time forever. I like that
Okay.
one. That was good. People are saying the original Fantasia is incredible. It is. However,
Pandemicry says, Keith confirmed for shit taste. I have great taste. Don't know about that one. Ask Kennedy. Kennedy knows, and Cranbrook knows.
You know, every time someone makes fun of Keith now, I'm gonna give him a little pat on the back.
Thanks.
I'm tired of you getting shit on, man.
I'm
Tired of it.
too.
I'm taking a stand.
Kyle just tickled my feet.
Why?
I don't know. Oh, he had to get the Xbox out from under the thing, and I was in the way.
See, you're always in the way, Keith.
I know.
You need to. You're not in the way.
Not in the way.
You're
I'm my
sitting
own person.
in on the couch. Okay,
Yeah.
that is you. You've got your space.
This is my
You've got-
zone.
You're in the zone.
Yeah, the Xbox.
Don't
is
let
my
people
way.
get in that zone. Okay.
Spaghetti says Keith has great taste. Yeah. How else would you guys know about Daniel Johnston if it wasn't for me?
I think Young'em Holtz might have just won the contest here because he pointed out that Space Jam is a Disney movie.
Oh man.
Space Jam is
Oh,
terrible.
Wait, no, it's not.
No.
I just
Okay,
rewatched
Keith.
Brothers. It's Looney Tunes.
Keith,
Yeah.
you know all that stuff I just said? I
Yeah.
take that back.
What?
Because you just said Space Jam is terrible.
I mean, the concept is amazing, and it's like hilarious that it's a thing. But
come on,
like
keep
the
backpedaling. Keep
no,
going. I'm
the
not,
movie itself is the most poorly paced piece of shit in the entire world. Like I
By the
love
way,
the
I'm
fact
kidding,
that
you're right.
That I'm right.
You're right.
Thank you.
It's I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand.
It's like such a good idea, but like Bill Murray's already there. Use him.
What happened? I didn't even remember Bill Murray was in the movie until I
Murray was-
rewatched it.
Bill Murray was in the movie for the first 2 seconds and then had this crazy comeback at the very end. Like we were all supposed to be like, finally Bill Murray, but it was like,
I was
where
so
were you, man?
confused.
Oh, so reality just hit hard. He was just joking. It's not really a Disney movie.
Okay.
Oh.
But somebody said every time someone insults Keith, I will donate $1 to I am raising up to $50. Go for it,
Oh,
chat.
man.
I don't know if
Spaghetti
he's
says-
serious, man. But
Wait, Glorp said.
Oh, no.
Glorp said how much would it take for? Wait, where was it? For me, how much would it take for him to donate for me to speed run KOTOR 2 on acid?
oh god,
First of all, I would not do it on acid.
Yeah.
It would take like $5 for me to speed run that regular a month, not I'm raising.
Not-
Question, Keith.
What?
So you're not answering his question. His question was not how much would it take for you to speedrun a regular.
yeah,
Well, I wouldn't do it on acid, so so no amount.
no amount.
No amount.
No amount.
And then
I'd like to point out that Kavanaugh said, Kieth, just shut up and jam. So, yeah.
oh, Kavanaugh.
Listen,
I like Kavanaugh.
I do want to say that I love. Sasquatch says Keith looks like a dork.
Aw.
Are we in 8th grade?
Keith is a dork.
I'm a little bit of a dork.
Kyle, don't.
I'm a
I'm gonna
huge dork.
come over there and I am gonna browbeat you so bad
Physically.
for making fun of Keith constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm,
Hey, at
I'm
what
up
point-
to here and my hand is like really high.
At what point is somebody gonna put on the Sonic pajamas?
Oh, they're insulting me for the donation thing. Now I
Yeah.
get it.
Although,
I thought someone
real
was just
talk,
taking a
no
really
one
weird
is
shot.
actually donating any money.
It's okay.
Someone
You
just
can
said
make fun
that
of me.
as a way to just make fun of you for the rest of the stream.
I've got a thick hide, you guys.
You do.
Yeah. I'm like an armadillo.
I feel like it's important to point out that because it's not a charity live stream, it's not okay to berate people for not donating.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, was I berating people?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
Although-
no one's donating.
Well, no, I just said like because they're all talking in the chat about how they're only up to $5 and that everyone keeps insulting Keith because he should actually do it, but nobody's actually donating.
Someone said, give Keith a pile of books and knock them out of his hand.
Oh, Snow and Summer says, Keith, in the first 24-hour stream, you looked way better, just being honest.
It's true. I gained some weight. Leave me alone.
Yeah, so did Kyle.
What the hell is even happening now? Everyone's just
Okay,
getting-
so while we're on a pause here between
Self-around,
games...
Chub, we gotta fix this.
What's up?
We gotta fix the.
Hey, man.
set the correct time.
Okay. Well, while we're on a pause here, I was going to make a suggestion. I didn't know how you guys felt about it. On the one hand, I make a lot of fantastical, delicious food products. Specifically, I've made apple pie jam that's really, really popular. It tastes like apple pie in a jar. You put it on your toast. It's fantastic. But aside from that, I make lots of like yummy, yummy baked goods. I make bread. I make bagels from scratch, so on and so forth. So I was kind of thinking about putting it out there that if we can get, I don't know, let's say $50 in the next hour, perhaps, in the one time, or I guess technically in the Patreon, because I'm refreshing it every few minutes or so, then I will take a look at everybody who donated during that hour and pull somebody's name. And as long as you're in the continental US, I will give you the chance to request an item and I will ship it to you. Does everybody...
The apple jam is really good.
Apple Jam's amazing. And maybe like put a minimum on it that if you donate at least $5 and we make it to what, $50?
Yep.
In the next hour, do we think we should go higher? Do we think we should go lower?
$50 sounds right.
All right, so starting now, if in the next hour we can get $50 worth of donations, either through Patreon and or through the one-time donation, because I'm tracking all of them and they're all time-stamped, then any of those people who donate $5 or more during that hour, no matter how much they do, as long as they do at least $5, even if they do it in $1 increments, I'm going to pull a name out of a hat of anybody who donates $5 or more. And as long as that person lives in the continental US, I will contact them and give them a choice of whatever they want me to make, like cookies or brownies or bagels or something along those lines. And I will make it and ship it to you. And
Now, Nicole-
if you live outside of the US and you want to supplement for shipping, then I'm fine with that.
Nicole, what kind of hat are we talking? You're going to pull names out of a hat. Are we talking like a
know if
fedora? Are we talking
hats.
like a top hat?
You could pull it out of a bowl.
Yeah, I think a bowl might be more realistic, actually.
Bob, in the chat, I can see here a couple things you posted. Run glutton, run mutton, Grub button.
Fat button.
I do not. Did you say fat button?
Yeah, that was on here.
I do not appreciate this. I'm trying very hard.
Every time I load the stream up, it's playing Hearthstone ads, and I keep thinking Girthstone for some reason.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I don't know why.
Spooky Attic is asking if we can include Canada. I guess my point for if you are in Canada is if, donate your $5 and then you want to save an extra $10 and put that towards your shipping, I'm fine with that, but you're right, shipping is mad expensive.
Young Helmholtz says, I bet Keith has a fedora. I do not have a fedora, because I would not have a fedora.
Now, how do you feel about men's rights?
Pretty bad about it. Bad about it, like, fuck people who want that. Because
I saw you were having a pretty intense discussion on Twitter the other day.
Yeah, that happens like most nights I do that.
You're fighting the good.
The later at night it gets, the more likely I am to yell at someone who's talking about men's rights. And I try to save it for late at night, because when I do it during the day, I lose a bunch of followers on Twitter.
See, this is why I tell you, people don't want to hear this crap.
I've got 1,033 people do.
Kyle's Glorb says Kyle should drink some rum button. And just for incentive here, I'm gonna drop a picture into the chat here. And give you guys an idea of what I am capable of creating for this particular situation.
I need a mod for a very important poll.
Wrestling Group says, watching you guys via my PS4 stream works, but chat doesn't work in the PS4 web browser.
Oh, well then don't get out of there.
Yeah, you gotta use a PC. What are we playing?
I like your guys' recording setup, by the way.
I am shortening a URL, and I
like your recording setup.
Dropping this link into the chat. And these are called Slutty Brownies.
All right.
Listen, people...
Have you...
So, just to clarify, Genma Onimusha is just the Xbox version of Onimusha 1. It's just they called it Genma Onimusha for some reason. Not really sure
They
why.
wanted to make it more foreign sounding because they do that all the time.
Apparently, there's some improvements.
Grandma Onimusha?
I want to say two things about the chat real quick. First of all, people are still talking about our weight. So for some, I don't know. Listen,
Come on.
I was about 40 pounds heavier than I was last stream, and I just lost 20 of that in the last couple weeks. So I'm working on it. Leave me alone.
I'm about to start working on it.
I'm very sensitive. I know that earlier I said that I had a thick hide. I'm also a liar.
Yeah, he does not.
I'm absolutely not have a thick hide. Also, Jordan says I'm closing out on his follower account, and he's pretty worried about it.
I need a poll to be created. I'm sorry. Just like right here, I have a sugar-free Red Bull, and I have a 5-hour energy. I need to know which one.
Not Red Bull. 5-hour energy.
That's not what I asked.
Giop. I don't feel like typing the response to this question, but Giop wants to know how to ship stuff like baked goods, and I strongly recommend wrapping them in wax paper and then wrapping the wax paper package in foil, and then wrapping that in plastic.
And then baking that whole thing into a cake.
Nope.
And then eating it in the cardboard box when you receive it.
Absolutely.
Ooh, this looks pretty good.
For people that say that the brownies look good but don't know what they are, Slutty Brownies are layerings of chocolate chip cookies, Oreos, brownies, and fudge.
Well, what is the difference between a Slutty Brownie and an ethical Slutty Brownie?
I don't think there is a difference.
Ethical Slutty Brownie would be one that's somehow healthier for you.
It's exactly the Slutty Brownie, but it's just made of kale.
That's
just
weird.
all kale.
All right, so we got some kind of intro video going on here.
So we're still at 37 Patreons. However, we have had, in the last 5-10 minutes or so, we have had a $6.69 donation from Squallage. Insult Keith donated $6. Venora donated $5. Spooky Attic donated $5 and put in all caps, I'm from Canada and willing to pay extra for baked goods. And Give Me Food donated $50. So congratulations. Anybody else that donates in the next hour, we have officially met the limit. So anybody that donates between now and 11:18 or 11:20, however you want to do it, we'll have your name or email address entered in here to potentially or to win a batch of some baked good or a jar of apple pie jam.
4 votes for 5-hour energy.
6 votes. So it's 5 votes.
6 votes now.
60.
3 votes for Red Bull. Here it goes.
We got 67% for 5-hour energy. Are you gonna do that all at once? You're gonna savor it.
Forgot. Gotta shake it up. Gotta shake it up.
Oh, that means that's gonna be even more concentrated.
I want the energy.
You want that energy. Drink it up. Drink up that energy.
Now, is that flavored?
Yeah, it's flavored like ass.
Orange flavored. Orange flavored.
Oh, no.
Or orange butt.
I just finished off my own Red Bull sugar-free. Because I'm on a diet, because we're all fat buddies.
Phil Ninja says,
button.
well,
Listen,
Keith, if it means anything, I think you're kind of a cutie. Then again, I'm not sure how you feel about getting a message like that from a man.
Hold on.
I feel totally fine about it.
Run tubbin.
Ah,
Run tubby?
But we can all do this together.
Well, this is clearly our hero, man, right here.
how can you tell?
Nader Bean told me to stop slut-shaming those brownies. And then KK Clip Art says the slutty brownie dresses that way to promote its choice as a brownie. How dare you judge it by his looks?
Can we all agree that the term slut shaming is like a little too harsh for what that word is trying to do?
No.
No?
No. It's
Judd the
exactly what
Stud
it
says,
is.
I heard that
I
fat
guess.
guys make better husbands.
Well, yeah, but imagine if your fat husband lost some weight.
Yeah,
It'd be the
that-
best
What's
husband.
up?
Like,
Wow. Burn?
Marcher 29 has to take
Tell your
off.
fat-
no, I'm not burning. I'm just saying it's like, oh, he's so nice and considerate. But then, what if he lost some weight? Then he'd be nice and considerate and good looking.
You saying that
Better
fat people
looking.
can't be
Better
good
looking.
Yeah, there you go.
Better looking.
Don't
What if-
sell ourselves
what if-
short.
Says, welcome
What
to
if life is a
Slutbutt."
battle against gravity and everything will become not so great as you age?
Well, you don't have to help gravity.
I've seen the 65-plus-year-old Iggy Pop. That dude is winning the fight against gravity.
Okay, he's the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah.
I don't.
If you don't know what's going on in this game, don't worry.
Oh.
It's
Oh, that's such a sad moth.
Oh, sad moth.
I hate moths. Moths are my least favorite insect in the whole world.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not frightened by moths. They
They're
just
just-
really gross me out. I'm
they're
not grossed out by
pests.
so you're
anything
okay
else.
with silverfish? The silverfish is you just let them crawl right in your ear and lay eggs.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
just okay
Well,
with you.
I'm not concerned about it. I'm not concerned about a silver fish.
So,
You know,
I don't
A
go near the
silver-
water.
yeah.
Keith, Johnny Crater would like you to know that he is for real a gay male and he thinks you look handsome.
Thank you.
Aw.
And Rabbitad Tat says Nicole's the prettiest, Kyle's the smuggest, and Keith's the cute one.
This whole track.
First of all,
And
I am not
Lucas
the
is the
fucking smuggest.
comedian
Have you listened to
brain.
this fucking asshole?
See, you talk about how smug I am all the time. I don't really do a lot of smug stuff.
You realize that calling Keith out on his smugness is doing you a disservice, right?
I'm joke smug. Keith's actually smug.
And then
Austin's
Lucas is
Beatles
apparently
gross
the
him out.
comedic relief.
Who is?
Lucas.
There's
And then,
you don't need a comedic relief. This is already comedy.
Oh, right. The main
Theodore
character's name is
Roosevelt.
Samanosuke.
That's a pretty good name.
Theodore Roosevelt says Nicole's the brain, Bob's the looks, Kyle's the muscle, and Keith is the wild card.
I am not the looks. You have not seen my face.
Bob, you haven't. Bob, do you have facial hair?
Why, yes, I do.
He says game audio is like 15 seconds ahead, he thinks.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, Bob, you have a nice beard. I remember seeing a video with you where you had a nice beard going on.
Let's get a picture of Bob and drop it in the chat.
So it says run snuggling.
Lavendark says Nicole has the looks, Bob has the charm, Kyle has the brains, and Keith has the high fastening pants.
I don't have high fastening pants.
All right, you want to see my dumb face? There.
Of course they
Don't
do.
do it.
It's in
Run
there.
snuggling, bug smugging.
All right. Okay.
Kyle's
okay.
so smug he could support a character in Ass Creed
I
2.
just read that.
Oh, okay. I was reading other things.
Oh wait, I think there was just a Utah. Oh god!
Oh
all the
my
volume.
god. Oh,
Sorry.
what?
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Extreme rice video.
What's extreme rice?
This is amazing.
I'm bowing.
This is fantastic.
That's an awesome video.
Thank
Oh
you.
god, I love it.
I got my job because of that video.
Did you really?
They keep telling me that, so I assume, yeah.
Oh no! Blech.
Oh, I can't even control it with my analog stick.
Oh my gosh, that's
We're in the
hilarious.
game now. Well, look at this. Yeah, this is.
Oh, that's some hotness.
That's some 60 frames action right here.
Yeah.
Sora Tuyoi agrees that game audio might be ahead of the video. I heard the arrow 5 seconds before the guy was killed by it. Common Coder says Bob has a face that is not dumb.
Let's try taking the stream down and putting it back up.
Yeah, that usually works. We have to do it
what do you
anyway.
want to do?
You know.
Well, it's on the XSplit window on the left.
Noble says, "Oh my god, I can't stop laughing. They love your video."
Go to broadcast up at the top, and then just click on run button.
It has to respond to my click before I can do anything. There we go. This just refresh. All right, and we have had a lot of I'm raising donations, so I'm going to catch us up on that. Inuyasha 1992, new best friend, donated $10. Lizard Wizard said, "What is this game? Also, no baked goods for me, thanks." Keith is a sweetheart, donated $5. And Sorority Yui donated $8 and said, "Yay, brownies." So in the last 20 minutes, you guys have gone from 280 to 372.55.
Jesus.
You're welcome for the slutty brownies. That's all I'm saying.
Come on, what's up?
Brownies sell.
I just want to play. I just want to play Bushido Blade again now. That game was really fun.
I want to play Cooking Mama. Spooky Attic wants to know if he or she donates again, do they get 2 entries for baked goods? And I'm going to let the judges decide on that one.
Yes.
How does this work?
If you make 2, so basically right now, if someone donates more than $5 in the next, at this point in the next 50 minutes, then they are entered to have their name chosen randomly to make a choice of a baked good that they want me to bake and mail to them, provided they're within the continental United States or provide supplemental shipping money. So they want to know if they make additional $5 plus donations, can they have multiple entries?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you want to donate $5 or more than once. Now that we've hit the $50 minimum, by all means.
We've got. I just want to let people know we've got 30 people that now have access to the patron exclusive Let's Play.
The 30 coolest people in the world.
You guys are gonna have the hottest exclusives we have.
Hot exclusive, all up in that.
If we.
Whoa! What is happening?
That thing is rad. Do you still want to be playing? Do you still want to be playing Bushido Blade?
So I should say the idea in playing this game was to possibly see if we wanted this to push back when we finish Silent Hill 3 to push back Silent Hill 4 in lieu of trying this game to be our sort of like slow-paced, sort of adventure-ish game.
Thank you to John for pledging an additional $9 on Patreon. I've just sent him a message directly asking for his email address. So if you choose to go through Patreon, I'll send you a message so that you can send me your email address in case you're chosen for brownies.
Yeah, do that.
Goods. Oh, great. YKKX says, "I know someone named Nicole. She's totally insane." It kind of seems to be the case with Nicole's. It's really hit or miss.
Sasquatch says, "Keith, who's your favorite Yu Yu Hakusho character? Hiei or Kuwabara?" Kuwabara, obviously.
What's going on here? I'm surrounded by purple smoke.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone notified you, but they do a lot of gameplay dump and plot dump and gameplay plot dump on you at the very beginning.
More like garbage dump this game.
Boosh.
Killing You Guy says, 20 years of Sonic helped me stay sane through some tough shit. Please never stop saying words over video games, and donated $10.
Thanks, man. It helped us go insane over like a pretty easy time in our lives. So it's like the opposite thing.
Spooky Attic says, double my odds, give me baked goods, Keith for least smug, and Kyle for most, and donated an additional $5.
I will have to say that Kyle and I are at least equally smug.
At least.
At
what are we
least.
at most?
At most, you're more smug than I am. No, it's give or take a little bit. I think some people can find me more smug if they have a bad taste in music.
I do.
Yeah. Well, you have a well-known bad taste in music.
All right. Well, I just skipped something, but that's fine.
Oh no.
Okay. Hold the A button to absorb the souls that emerge after defeating demons. Red will enhance the power of your orbs and items. Blue recovers magic, yellow recovers my vitality, and green unleashes the gauntlet's power, which I think the green is new in Genma Onimusha, as opposed to the original Onimusha.
How do I spell the name of this game?
Glorp says Keith is way more.
Genma space.
Onimusha 3, Onimusha Warlords, Onimusha
One.
2.
Genma Onimusha.
Glorp says Keith is way more smug based on him thinking he has a great taste in things. Everybody thinks that they have a great taste in things.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, I have such a bad taste in music.
You think it's so hard,
I
though.
think it pretty hard. But I'm also, like, pretty right.
Wait, okay. Read this. When you have absorbed 5 green souls, press the white button simultaneously to access the gauntlet's hidden powers. Simultaneously with what?
With
The white button.
With
You press the white button with the white button. Come on,
I
this
think you
shit's
press
simple.
the white button with the souls.
All right, that's a better joke.
Well, when you have 3 souls, try pressing the white button. See what happens. Magic mirror. Is the thing that's magic about it the fact that there's no mirror?
Hard disk. Put on the
Cabana
battery
says
in
the
there.
real Dark Soul starts here.
I laughed, Kavanaugh.
Don't even
You couldn't hear it.
don't even tempt me to play Dark Souls 2.
You can play that later.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be something around like the 20-hour mark where I'm just like, fuck everything, I'm just playing Dark Souls 2. Don't talk to me.
No, if we get to that point, I'm going to take over and play some awesome games. And you guys can just talk to each other.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Laying down the law.
Well, didn't you say that the whole point of this is not to play any games newer than Xbox?
It's true, but that was before
But it doesn't matter.
the
That was the
thing
rule.
To be fair, Kyle had said that he wanted to break that rule even before the thing started working again. Look at these guys' sweet mouths that are like weird and crazy.
Good.
This game looks really, really good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And from what I remember, it was very, very fun to play.
Is it scary?
Not really.
So,
the plot is kind of nonsensical too, but a Silent Hill fan would probably be okay with that.
Good in me.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
He wants that orb to get in him.
Get in me, orbs.
Give me
Oh,
that
come on. No.
That's a soul orb.
Gut in me.
This is kind of tough to like.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like they tried to make it like survival horror, and one of the ways that you make survival horror is you have really crazy, weird, strange controls that don't really work properly.
Oh, guys.
I'm really not a fan of mechanics where you have to pause mid battle to try to suck things in, which is why I
Yeah.
really didn't like Fable 2.
Kyle
love-
really didn't like Fable 2.
Yeah.
I love Fable 2.
I know everybody
I
did.
didn't like
They're all
Fable 3.
wrong.
Kyle
Everyone.
has probably the angriest I've ever seen Kyle. There's an episode, and remember, for $6, this can be this and
This
so
can
much
be
more
yours.
can be yours. There's an episode of the Complex Rockets podcast that is actually the title is a Yu Yu Hakusho reference, where Kyle just screams about how bad Fable 2 is for like half an hour, and the episode's called, I think, "Feed All You Want, My Precious Hate Fish."
That was probably the quote. We used to like put quotes along with each episode.
That wasn't the. I'm pretty sure that was the title.
I just want to interrupt real quick because a little while back you had someone named Andy Mianhawk, just pledged $9 a month. I often post on your YouTube videos and have never really been interested in Let's Plays before I found you guys. I watch
Us
all of your
neither.
new releases and have thoroughly plumbed your back catalog in every which way. Meow.
Aw.
And my girlfriend and I both make a weekly ritual of catching up with your content. Keep kicking ass, taking names, collecting Chaos Emeralds, and collecting some strange garbage.
Thank
From
you.
Liam.
Thank you.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
Was
You
that
guys have some
Liam or
pretty cool
Leon?
fans.
Our fans
Liam.
are pretty cool.
L-I-A.
Yeah, they're rad.
AM.
You guys are rad.
We used to have some not cool fans. All those guys left. We got better fans.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna do a quick refresh of the I'm raising. Bio551 donated $5. He's a pretty cool guy. He helped me out with my my run through of that game that I still haven't finished fucking playing.
Bob Serrata says, any idea what games you might be playing at the C2E2 panel?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh, you're
No,
playing.
all I know is that we're doing a live stream of a game,
Oh.
and I'm trying to figure out how to
so we
stream that from Chicago.
Oh, so are we we're gonna be able to watch it without being there?
It's possible. I have applied for a press pass, which they do not allow you to record video if you don't have one.
Okay.
And so basically, They asked me a bunch of questions about my what do you call that? My audience,
Right.
viewer counts, and demographics and shit.
So
and I'm
it's
like,
just a bunch of people that like Silent Hill, but like don't like Silent Hill, but they do, but they don't. I don't get it.
I'm pretty sure that there's nobody more conflicted than a Silent Hill fan.
I think we really
or a Sonic fan.
A Sonic, you're right. Yeah, that's the one
There you
thing.
go.
We like totally nailed the two weirdest communities.
Yeah, it was funny because I think we made some joke when we started doing Silent Hill 1 Let's Play because we just picked it. I just kind of picked it out of nowhere. I was just like, this looks interesting and it's nothing like Sonic, so let's do it. And I was like, man, it'll be fun to play a game that doesn't have like a weird fan base full of insane people. And everyone was like, haha, you know nothing about Silent Hill.
Oh, how naive you were.
Probably the weirdest thing that's ever happened to us was the first 7 pages of that Silent Hill 1 thread.
Oh god, these are monsters.
Those are monsters.
Thank you to Hayden, who just donated $9 on Patreon.
Thank you. That's another person for the patron-only Let's Play.
Love you.
Yeah. What'd
And
you say, Bob?
NaderBean33 says he would like some prude brownies, please,
Yes.
or a Sonic the Hedgehog cake. And he donated $5.33.
Man, $5 ain't gonna get you a Sonic cake.
To be fair, it's the same amount of effort. Like, I was thinking about it. I actually have been
If he wins the raffle, he
contemplated...
can have a cake.
Yeah, you can have a cake. The question is just shipping. I have been thinking about the best way to ship cupcakes, and then we watched an episode of Shark Tank and saw someone that was basically built a business around putting cupcakes inside of mason jars
Oh, I can block.
and jelly jars, and I was like, well, I could just make someone a shitload
But
of
they
cupcakes.
get all squishy.
You eat it with a fork.
Oh, I got a
What?
quick turn.
You don't put a cupcake like paper thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
You just put the cupcake in the mason jar and then use a frosting thing to frost it in the mason jar and then put like toppings on top.
I think
And they
that
eat it with a fork.
the worst thing about cupcakes already is too much frosting to cake. What? A big hole? Did a monster do this? You can't get around it.
Who would put a big hole
Who put
here?
a hole? A hole?
This is
Why is
exactly
this
like
door
Silent
This
Hill
is
with the
Silent Hill,
samurai.
yeah.
NaderBean33
Oh,
says
did you
he'd
say
be willing
yes
to
to
pay
go
for
down?
shipping
Yeah.
for cake.
Okay.
Why is there a car here?
Also,
Who
when
put
you
a
started
wheelchair in a
mentioning
hospital?
Dark Souls, a considerable amount of people began immediately saying, please don't play Dark Souls.
Oh, come on.
They're all bummers. A bunch of people didn't want you to play System Shock 2, right? And then after it happened...
One.
After one, yeah, and then after we were done, they were like, "Why'd you stop playing System Shock?"
Right, 'cause it's
they
all
don't know what
different
they
people.
want.
Yeah. To be fair, the reasonable indication was that there are a bunch of people who are waiting to watch any Dark Souls Let's Plays until Geop posts his.
Okay,
Stupid
Jeb's
Geop.
ruining our whole thing right now.
Geop, go. Come on.
Atmid wants to know, why is there a wheelchair here?
Because it's a hospital.
And Mirandoatros says, too much frosting? WTF are you talking about?
Frosting's garbage.
Although apparently that's not an uncommon...
Not a huge fan of frosting.
I like frosting, but I like frosting in relation to
Cake is not a delivery mechanism for frosting.
No.
It's the frosting
cake-
helps the cake.
the cake is the thing, and the frosting is like your cake condiment.
Yeah.
Have you ever had those cupcakes with like, it has to be at least like twice the size of the cupcake in icing at the top?
Yes,
Yeah.
I absolutely have seen that.
How can you eat that? I don't understand.
There's no way to eat it without taking a bite that's exclusively frosting, and like, I already kind of don't like frosting, but if I ever had to just eat a bite of frosting, I would feel like I already weigh too much. I would feel like I weigh double what I weigh.
Yeah, at work we had this one of our vendors brought in like this huge tray of peanut butter cupcakes, and they were like great looking cupcakes. But they had so much icing on the top, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this. So I take a bite, and then I look, and in the center they had even more icing, and it was just like, oh no.
What you gotta do there, you gotta just scrape off 80% of the top
Yeah.
frosting and just rely
That's what
on
I
the
did.
layer.
Oh no!
Yeah. What are I like these spinny guys. Do you like those guys?
I don't like when they spin at me.
Well, I think they're cool.
I'm really digging this game so far.
Oh, yeah?
It
It's a
feels
good game.
It feels
I had
good.
fun.
Kyle, you just gotta run past these guys.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about the combat. Just run past.
Why are you fighting any of these
Why
guys?
are you fighting? Just run past them.
Why are you shooting things in this game that gives you a gun?
It's hard to make a game satisfyingly difficult.
That is hard.
Dark Souls.
Anyway, that's my random statement. You can go ahead.
What, Bob? What do you think? Do you think that Konami leans into the fact that people just run past the enemies in their game? Like, do you think that they figured out that that's what people are doing, and they just started designing games around that fact?
Yes.
Okay.
I have talked to people at Konami, and they say exactly what you're saying. They're just like, we've discovered the golden rule of video games, and it's useless
optional
bullshit
combat.
I felt like Silent Hill 1 was a game that was designed for the player to fight all the enemies, and players just discovered that they could run past things, and then Silent Hill 2 was like all the enemies were designed that you could run past them.
And Silent Hill 3 even more so.
I would say, I mean, a lot of people say that, in Silent Hill 1 you're supposed to run, but I watched your guys' LP and you had a lot easier time just like fighting them.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Because you can get into trouble if you don't leave the enemy there and just try to run past them all the time.
Yeah.
They can land all these free hits.
And it was only after that. It was only after we
Oh!
finished the Let's Play that people started saying like, yeah, you should only run away if you know where you're going.
Right.
Which
I mean,
no one
because
has said.
the people saying, "Oh, you should just run," are people who've played the game a lot,
yeah.
and they're like, "Look, I know where to go. I'm just going to run," and usually it works out for them. What's going on?
Ray Rovo posted a pretty neat picture drawing
it's
of,
great.
I'm assuming Kyle saying,
Yeah.
"How am I more smug?"
I don't know if we
Radio
explicitly
Rovo.
said
No!
it, but if you're like, I should
No!
probably do fan art for this. Yeah, you should.
No!
Are you about to die?
No!
You can Brock, right?
I'm alive, I think. Okay. Oh, I can block. You're
Ooh,
right.
Remake the Hedgehog
Yep,
says,
can
"I'm
block.
down for Dark Souls, but I can't
Should've told
stand
you.
Miasmata."
Oh, boo.
That's a rip. You just ripped Kyle. Miasmata is pretty alright.
I can understand why you don't want to watch someone else play Miasmata, but Miasmata's awesome.
Geop says he suddenly wants a mason jar full of cupcake.
Bob, you played Miasmata?
No,
Do you know about it?
nope.
You don't know anything about it.
It's this game where you go around and there's kind of not anything that you do, and you pick up flowers and you mix them into potions so that you don't get too sick, and sometimes there's a totally harmless, goofy-looking monster.
He's not
That
harmless
sounds
at all.
pretty cool. I like that. I like that idea.
It's like you walk around on this island and you have a map with you, and you go around like trying to triangulate your position between all the landmarks to add stuff to your map, and then you're trying to find special elements to make a cure for your disease.
Okay, one question though.
Okay.
Does it feature a man that is slender?
Let me try. No, he's like a
unfortunately, no,
growling wolf, kinda.
Okay.
But what was I gonna say?
Do I only get 3 moves?
Yeah, it says rest 3. That means that you have only 3 moves.
Oh.
I don't know why it says rest 3, but when we were doing the marathon, the first marathon, and you played Miasmata, like when the monster first showed up was probably one of the scariest moments in a game that I had.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Yeah, like all of a sudden he turned around and there was just this horrible stalking creature like in the shadows.
Yeah, I really can't wait for you guys to check out Silent Hill 4 because it's like it's kind of a different type of horror, definitely. So
Is it what kind of horror is it?
it's more like I want to say probably like shock, more like disturbing type stuff. Whereas of course, Silent Hill 2 has its disturbing moments, definitely. But in terms of like
when Eddie's
actually like freaking you out, like it never really did that for me. But
Are you saying so? It's more or less like a psychological?
in terms of the scares,
Yeah.
I think it's more psychological.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean there are definite scenes that people are going to be waiting for you in the thread for you to get to.
I've got 2 types of block, and I've got this one.
That looks like you're ready to jab. That doesn't look like a block. That looks like a ready stance.
No, or maybe this is the ready. No.
By the way, I am waiting for you guys to get to some certain scenes in Silent Hill 3. And
Do you know how far away we are from it? Like, could you?
Oh, you're right at one of the scenes that I've been waiting a
really?
while
Like
for you,
we're right
for
before
you to get to. Like when I thought about you guys doing Silent Hill 3, I was like, okay, I've got 2 things that I definitely want to get like a brand new person's perspective on. Like I definitely want to catch these. Because I remember going through that game the first time and then what it did to me. So I'm not going to hype it any more than that. I'm just going to say This is gonna be fun.
The problem for me is I've mentioned this a number. What the hell?
I tried to do an announce, but you don't have it set up on your Xbox.
Oh,
What happened?
a what?
You don't have. I tried to do announce so that I could blast a tweet update. You don't have the pin set, and then I realized that it's right in the middle of the screen. So even if I tried to do anything, everyone would be able to see what your Twitch pin is.
I'll just tweet it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm supposed to have picked up on a thing that I read earlier and know the answer here.
I'm just gonna spell Onimusha phonetically.
There you go. First off, the chat and I are having a very intimate discussion about Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I'm a big fan of this.
I like that game.
I am leaving this
Second
here.
off, Kate, I'm going to make an executive here when I read this donation. Casey, Caysie, is donator number 53, and she donated $3, and her comment is, I don't have enough cash left to enter for food stuff, but wanted to donate again. Thanks for being awesome. Earlier in the stream, like at the very beginning, she actually donated $10, so I'm going to go ahead and add her into the list. Because that means that she donated $15, or $13 altogether. And
Casey,
I'd
you're rad
say
as heck.
that's a pretty generous donation, and
Yes.
she also put us at $400.
Or he.
Pretty sure it's a female, but now
Men
you're at
can be named Casey.
$400.88. Therefore, the next unlock is. We just unlocked what now?
We're at past 500 on Patreon.
No, I just said
Oh, okay.
400. So what's the next? And is there anything that was unlocked at 400?
400 was bi-weekly long podcasts.
Okay.
What is going on here?
And I don't see any new Patreon. Nope, nobody new for Patreon. Just a reminder for anybody who's jumped into this stream in the last little bit. I'm going to drop some links into the chat right now because people are asking where do I donate. But right now, until 11:20, if you donate $5 or more in either Patreon or I'm Raising, which is our one-time donation platform, you will be entered into a little drawing that I'm hosting here where I can email you and ask you what kind of baked good you would like. And then within reason, I can make that baked good and ship it to you as long as you are in the continental United States. If you are outside of the continental United States, i.e. Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, UK, etc., 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 if you would like to provide the supplemental shipping fees for that, by all means, you're more than welcome to do so. Just make sure that you mention that in the comments that you're outside of the U.S. and that you are interested in providing supplemental shipping. And the Calcutech would like to know if you are doing a bi-weekly or bi-weekly.
It is the first bi-weekly as in once every other week or twice a month. So we're doing the bi-weekly that is also bi-monthly.
Lizard Wizard Mage wants to know if Patreon supports PayPal, which it does. And I believe I'm Raising allows for several different types of donations, right? You don't have to use PayPal. You can use...
There's their own like proprietary thing. Mm-hmm. You could also just enter in a credit card.
No.
Also...
That's Patreon. I'm Raising is PayPal.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about
So you can
Patreon
only use PayPal if you do I'm Raising. That being said, if you are in a bind and you cannot use PayPal for some reason, you do have the option of donating to Patreon and then choosing to not continue that as a monthly donation, doing it as a one-time donation only by going in and canceling it after
I
you
would
make the first
really
payment.
prefer people not do that.
Well, yeah, but if you've got someone who's saying that they can't use PayPal for some reason, but they want to donate, I mean, at least it's an avenue for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's
Especially
helpful.
where you're
It just,
giving bonus whatever exclusives to people who donate on PayPal today anyways. Spooky Addict says, yes, this is another bakery entry, but also I don't want to see Kyle play DS2 because I don't own a 360 or PS3 and have to wait for the PC release. Heart, your quick look back in the day was what got me to buy the original.
Well, at
least we can
Another
inspire
$5.
someone to like that weird game.
You know, I was really surprised. Before they came out, they put a poll on GameFAQs that asked people if they were going to buy Titanfall or Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 had like 4 times as many votes as Titanfall.
I feel like Dark Souls is like this I don't know, I feel like it's a cultural like point, like people that know about games know about Dark Souls, and a lot of them are really into it because it's Dark Souls.
Yeah. Looks
And
like
it's
Max
hard.
might be
I think
interested
that's the
in
biggest
jumping
thing.
into the chat tomorrow.
Kyle said what? Like he doesn't get. What do you mean? What don't you get?
People know about games and Dark Souls, and it's Dark Souls. What does that mean?
It's like people. people are very vocal about how much they like Dark Souls because when it first came out, it was like this weird thing that people were talking about. It was very divisive, and like it ended up that like, the general opinion was Dark Souls is awesome, and it's like this weird thing that's super hard but really rewarding, and it looks really good, and it's got a cool atmosphere. I just think like it has that sort of reputation in.
Whoa! I can charge my sword.
Chat, if you scroll back, Bio551 dropped a code for Antichamber into the chat.
Whoa.
So
I didn't know
kudos to him. He just dropped a Humble Bundle gift code. We have some other codes we're going to probably drop later in the night or first thing tomorrow. And if you are the person who picks up the Antichamber gift code, definitely give a shout out in here so we can make sure that we thank Bio551 for being a generous, awesome guy.
Bob said that he would be right back, and then also someone says that John is trying to talk to us.
Which John?
John said, Keith, do you have my number? I don't have your number, John.
I have John's phone number.
Okay.
Is this John that was on your Game of the Year podcast?
Yeah.
I don't know John.
No, John was not on our Game of the Year podcast, but he has been on past
John is
things that we've
texting
done.
you and Skyping. He's trying to reach out.
Oh, is he texting me?
You're not so great about paying attention to your phone when you're doing
really
things.
need somebody in the chat to like help me out with like how the fuck to use my green orbs with the white button. It said press the white button simultaneously. I've been trying it simultaneously with every button on the controller.
With
it's
the
not
black
doing
button?
anything.
John
White button.
Davies on Skype says EY exclamation point.
Oh, these are some tank-ass controls right now.
Yeah, you have to use the D-pad.
I asked him if he wanted in on this call, and he said, "Hell's yeah." Do you want me to add him to the group call?
John, yeah, sure.
All right. Adding to the group call. People are saying Jonbutton.
Yep, Jonbutton.
In the interim, Aaron says, sadly, you guys did this on a non-pay week. It's not much, but I wanted to show some support to you guys for the amount of entertainment that you have provided. Hope you do more of these in the future so I have another chance, and he donated $1.
Thank you.
Totally-
A button, A button. Suck those things in.
Whoa.
Suck hard.
I do suck hard.
In the last couple of moments, we have gone up to 41 patrons and are at $466 a month. You're $34 away from hitting that $500 mark. And the
How close are you to making PewDiePie money?
What's that?
We're like right under
We're
PewDiePie.
about 995.
Have you actually gone to Social Blade and checked out how much that guy makes?
It's like he makes like $1 million a month.
If there's one thing that your fans need to know about in terms of like donating to you guys, PewDiePie basically it makes an insane amount of money. And think about the quality of his stuff versus the quality of Run Button stuff.
Makes. Am I out of line saying that he makes millions of dollars a year?
I don't know if it's that much.
It's not that much. I mean, I don't know how.
Tens of thousands.
When you consider how much he probably gets in free products.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, I'm thinking about
stuff.
his total views are like 300,000 times. Hey, John. Like 300,000 times more than our total views or something.
Hello, John.
Hi, John.
Hey, how's it going?
Would you mind opening like a GameFAQs guide and just...
Okay.
While he's
Looking
doing that, the two newest Patreon subscribers are Lizard Wizard, who just subscribed $6 on top of his over $40 of contributions
Wow.
over the course of the stream, and Ian, who contributed $9.
Thanks, L-Dub
Hey,
and
Ian. Thank you, especially if you're my childhood friend
It's,
named Ian.
Rabbitat says PewDiePie is literally what is wrong with America today.
he's not even... He
No.
might live in America. He's not from
Wait,
America.
do you mean that the thing that's wrong with people in America today are foreign people?
Lizard Wizard Mage wants to know which model of Xbox controller are you using, and weren't there two?
Yes, there were
He's
two.
not
I'm
using the
I'm using the S, which is the newer, far better one.
Thomas
Hey, everybody.
100273
Hey,
would like
John.
to
Hey,
say,
John.
plus
Hold on, I
three
can't hear myself,
blocks
so let me just
skill.
sort this out. But apparently y'all can hear me, so that's cool.
Yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Everybody should be able to hear you.
Oh my
Well,
god!
that's-
Red
God,
Carousel
oh my
says,
god!
dang, John is sounding sexy.
Did you figure something out?
I learned that my Y button is like a magic attack.
Oh,
John, how are people going
Those
to
are
talk
noises.
about how rad your hair is if you're not here?
Oh man, it's good.
Dante Reborn says, I thought
I don't know,
agree, it was
I got the
1.25
Rogaine going on
million a
now.
month, as opposed to
Oh god.
for PewDiePie.
Yo, what the hell?
Wait, what a month?
1.25 million
A month?
a month.
Yeah, I knew that it was millions. I knew it.
Spooky Attic says, John, I've missed you so much.
Kyle, what part are you at so that I can? Do you have like
I
a
don't-
keyword?
I need to know like basic controls, like how do you use the green orbs?
I feel like you're getting frustrated with this game.
No, I'm not getting frustrated.
I googled white button and it's not even a thing. In this whole.
Are you in Onimusha or you're in Onimusha Warlords? You're in the
Oh.
PS2 version.
Okay.
Beginner
Who-
mode
who is
easy
the,
has become
uh,
available. Yay.
Who's the
love
lady
that.
on this call here that I haven't met?
Hi, I'm Nicole.
That's my girlfriend
Hi, I'm
Nicole.
John.
She's
Hi.
yeah, she's here in the room with us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
I should hope so, considering I own the house.
Yeah.
It's what
Busted.
Onimusha?
Genma.
Genma?
God, maybe I'll just not be able to hear myself. I guess that's fine.
Well, you can hear your
People in the
voice.
chat are
Why?
actually saying
Now.
you're
I can. It's just a little bit disorienting, I guess.
Why would you not? Why would you hear yourself?
People are calling you Jonathan Livingston Button.
To just monitor my voice. I don't know, man. I come from a radio background. This is how we do things.
I don't think that.
Me
That's not how
too.
it works on.
It doesn't
Skype.
work over Skype. If you were here, you'd be able to hear your voice.
No, I'm trying to do it on my my audio interface. That whole thing.
Oh,
okay.
okay. So you've got like a legit mic going on.
Oh yeah, I've got all sorts of cool stuff going on here.
Okay, absorbing green
Thomas?
souls will fill up a meter in the top left corner of the screen. When all the slots are full, pressing the white button will release your gauntlet's magic.
Oh, okay. So we don't have enough.
Yeah, you just have to get one more orb up there.
Folks are saying that John is too loud.
All right, I can see if I could hear myself, I would know that.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Not necessarily.
Also, Thomas 10273 says you need to use the Genma Onimusha guide. The games
Yeah.
are very different.
Yeah, we're
Right.
doing that.
Yeah.
Also,
Fuck.
someone said that maybe Pidmon says maybe Run Button would earn millions a month if they had absolutely no shame and made rape jokes all the effing time.
Yeah.
I mean, I could if you really want me to.
If you want us to do that,
Well,
yeah.
you are calling a lot of women bitches. So
Yeah, but
that's
I call women
basically the
bitches.
same thing.
oh,
so
look at my green power.
You have some sweet
Kyle.
green power.
Hey Kyle,
Yeah, what's up?
how was your birthday?
Oh, it was great. How was
yeah,
your
it was-
birthday?
It was great.
Do you guys have the same
Awesome.
birthday?
It's very
No, but
close.
they're very close.
Okay. What's your birthday, John?
The 18th.
18?
Yeah.
Yep.
Come on, get. Yep.
That's a 4-day difference. But we never even mentioned, Kyle, it was just your birthday.
It was. Oh yeah, it was my birthday. This was.
The original conceit was we were going to do it on Kyle's birthday, but it didn't work out for last week. So
Yeah.
this week
It was
instead.
kind of the whole point of the stream. We did it because it's my birthday, essentially.
Yeah, it was. This is
It was my birthday.
Your birthday
It was
present
my birthday present
is
to
staying
myself.
up to 24 hours, and then
Oh
does,
no.
does that mean at midnight we're singing happy birthday?
I'll sing happy birthday when
is that a thing? Or oh wait, copyright.
Wait, who's this other dude on the line as well?
that's Bob. He makes
Hi, Bob.
he has a very popular
Hello,
video
John.
series.
No.
Oh man, he's choking you out.
What does Bob do?
He has a very popular YouTube series called YouTube Reacts. He also does some stuff concerning. He's a let's play of Silent Hill Homecoming, and you've got a podcast too, right, Bob?
No, I kind of do. So sort of. When I feel like talking into a mic.
We know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's hard. It's like
At mids.
what do you talk about? I did one for Last of Us, and that was okay.
It's 5-hour energy.
Kyle
He's doing bad
is
things
24 now.
to me. 24 hours for 24 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Total coincidence.
serendipity.
There was something on here that I was going to read.
I'm gonna.
Oh, I just wanted to mention that you're going from 6 to 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Illuminati is real.
It all matches up.
YKKX just said, shit, you do the YouTube reacts? I love that one.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Mr. YouTube Reacts himself.
Pidmon says, Bob, were you the one who did the riff racks with Voidburger?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
With
yeah.
tracks, I can read.
Yeah.
Super tired.
I should go and find that so people can buy it if they want.
Actually,
Yeah.
Spooky Attic just dropped it into the chat.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Spooky Attic. I had a
Super
Spooky
Saiyan,
Attic.
but at least he's trying.
Regret Carousel says, I am the exact same age as you guys. I feel so unaccomplished.
What?
Well, we're absolutely
Hold on a
not
second.
accomplished.
Yeah. I don't
Oh,
know
no.
if you should be using them as a standard for accomplishment. No
Yeah, I
offense to
just got
either of
home
you.
from waiting tables, so that's that.
Well, I don't
Wow.
even have a job, John.
I don't even have a table.
I had a job and then I don't have it anymore.
Thanks
sorry,
to
man.
Spencer, who just pledged $3 a month on Patreon and brings us up to $469, which
Thanks.
makes me wonder if he did that on purpose.
You know,
I hope-
FYI,
What's up?
What's up?
Kyle, you're the one who does the editing on your vids, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Well,
Most
we have
likely.
recently started
yeah.
splitting it.
I got the. You recently started splitting it,
Yeah.
and you're doing it like Premiere.
Yeah. This is Premiere Keith Edit.
no, we do it in AVI Sim.
Oh,
Premiere is a
okay.
program. Keith.
Okay, I thought you were saying the premiere of me editing. We use AVI Synth.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind then. But one of the things that I wanted to say is I caught the beginning of your of the stream, and you were talking about how maybe possibly getting another job, and I was thinking a lot of what LPers are doing these days is freelancing video editing jobs. So you might want to consider
This
doing
was
that.
a suggestion that I made to Kyle several months
Yes,
ago.
it was.
You really should. I mean, that's how I got my job.
I mean, I've applied to video editing jobs lying that I've done some of the editing for this. So,
Andy did the exact same thing for podcasting.
No, if you do anything related to like any sort of podcast or video or something like that, definitely put it on your resume.
Okay, I'll do that.
Honestly,
have it on
can
my
I
resume.
can I give everyone
Good.
some real talk advice?
What's your real talk advice?
If you are going to try and use video your past experience as video editing as part of an application for a job, the quickest and best thing that you can do is take 2 copies of the same video, one before editing, one after editing. Take a very audio intensive or audio video sync intensive clip that's like 15 seconds long, play the before and after, and that speaks for itself way more. Because as much as you can give someone a link and say, oh, well, when you're considering applicants, go on my website, blah, 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 blah. There's a huge difference between saying to somebody, like, look at this video that I have right here. I have the MP4 file on my phone or on my iPad or something, and just look at it, have a pair of headphones with you, let them, like, feel the experience of what you've done. Walk into somebody's place, or, if you're meeting somebody in person, that's a huge difference than just saying, oh, check out my link.
And look, as a dude who hires, video editors and stuff, I could say that looking at the final versus the original, that definitely helps. I mean, you can definitely gauge someone's experience with that. Real talk over. Video games.
Right.
Oh man,
Real
they're so
talk.
silly. Silent Hill, Sonic the Hedgehog. What is going on?
Bob, what I meant to ask you this a long time ago. What is your favorite Silent Hill game?
Wait, before you say anything, I am in the middle of Silent Hill 2, so please no spoilers for that.
Actually, funny story, Silent Hill 2 is actually my favorite game. So
Silent Hill 2 is a lot of people's favorite
Yeah.
sound.
I know, and when you guys played it, and you beat it, I to be honest, I kind of hated your guts for a little while. Because I'm a Silent Hill fan and I'm ridiculously hard-headed.
I knew that it would ruffle some feathers.
But that's cool. I'm totally glad you guys did
It's
that
not-
because
Here's the real. You want to know the real deal?
Did we get you back at the end? When we
actually
explained
you had a
more?
video after and then you explained it more and it was like, okay, all right, I totally respect your opinion.
It's honestly that the game is so interesting story-wise that when the pacing is so off and you're not getting the story that I think is so interesting, like all the stuff that I think that is interesting about Silent Hill 2 comes from like all the really interesting psychological crossovers between Harry and his representation of James and his representation of Silent Hill. Like that stuff is so cool, but it's so rare that it even happens in the game. It's just like it's kind of slow sometimes.
Right.
But
and one of the things that I thought that Silent Hill 2 did really well, and that all of the Silent Hills after it are trying to recreate to a certain extent, is the whole idea that the town itself is like... Actually, I shouldn't say anything, because John... Sorry, John.
But we know what you're going to say, so it's fine.
Yeah. So it's like... it was the first one that did that, whereas the first game was more or less just like... I beat Silent Hill 1 for the first time, and I got the bad minus ending. So I hated it. I just hated it. Like, you can't pull that Jacob's Ladder shit without, like, having a really solid plot, which Jacob's Ladder did. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Jacob's Ladder is definitely must-see watching if you're going to play any more Silent Hill games, especially Silent Hill 3.
Seem to have hit a wall. He moved it pretty hard.